don't want him to hurt himself or you.
We are down to Michelle's final four, and we are going to break down the previews for next week's hometowns. Hey guys, and welcome back to another shared news. We've got all you need to know on what's to come next week on The Bachelorette. But before we get into it, make sure you guys are subscribed to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the phenomenally amazing Gianna Gravalese, and we are here to break down hometowns. We are down to the final four. We have Nayte, we have Joe, we have Rodney, and we have Brandon. And this is the first time in history that we will have an all four POC, an all people of color in the final four. So that is awesome. Great history for The Bachelorette. But Gianna, I want to ask you, are you surprised by this final four? Did you predict that it would come down to these four men?
The only one out of these four men that shocked me was our Apple man, Rodney. Like, I just did not see him making it all the way to the final four. You know, way back in the beginning, I thought Clayton would honestly be in his place right now, but he obviously got sent home last night, so that's not the case. So out of everyone else, like Nayte and Joe were a given, Brandon was a given. So Rodney's really the only one that surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I would second that. I would have expected Clayton to be there, or even Rick. I mean, Rick kind of fell off, but I felt like he had a lot of potential in the beginning. And even Olu, like he could have made it too, but he never got a chance. He never got a one-on-one date. So a little surprised with Rodney, but I mean, Rodney has grown on me. I was very turned off by him the first episode, and I was like, who is this guy in an apple? He does not belong on this show. But he has a funny personality, and he's just grown on me a lot. So I'm happy to see him there. But we're going to start breaking down these promo clips for next week. We're going to do a deep dive. I want to remind everyone that there's not spoilers, but we are theoretically, like, whatever the word, like we are just really diving into these trailers looking for clues. We are going to dissect this teaser and see if we can tell who is going to Mexico for the final three and who is going to be stuck in Minnesota. I'm also curious if they are going to people's hometowns or if they are just like bringing the families to Minnesota. So let's take a look at this first clip and see what we could gather.
It is hometown. I'm really excited. This is the pivotal week.
See, I've missed Tayshia. I feel like her and Caitlyn have barely been on the show. Gianna, what do you think? Do we think that looks like Minnesota? I have no idea where Rodney is from, but do we think she's going to be traveling? Because I kind of feel like they might just keep it in Minnesota to make things easier.
I don't know. I feel like they might be traveling because they're apple picking, and that's a very East Coast thing. Like a lot, like I in Boston do it every year during the fall. So I don't know. I don't know where else an apple orchard would be if they do exist everywhere else. Would I think they do? I don't know. I'm not good at geography, so I don't know where this would be. I have no idea.
Yeah, so Rodney actually is from Rancho Cucamonga, which is like 2 hours outside of LA. So they're definitely not in the Palm Springs area right now, which means that they will be staying in Minnesota for hometowns. And I'm just excited to meet the families. What do you think Rodney's family is going to be like?
I feel like they're going to be so fun and bubbly and out there just because that's who he is as a person. And, you know, we are all shaped by our parents. And he honestly is like one of the most gentleman like men that we have in this group. Like, he hasn't like been making out with Michelle and he hasn't done this and that. He does like very small, wholesome little things. And again, like, he came in night one dressed as an apple. Like, are you kidding me? That is like adorable and cringy all at the same time. So I feel like his family are just going to be a bunch of cool, great people, but definitely out there and welcoming of Michelle.
Well, he's definitely out there. Let's not forget the time he ran around the stairs naked on that one-on-one date. I know it was a dare, but he still had a pillow covering him and
Oh,
ran up
yeah.
and down the stairs. Well, it's interesting because you remember in Michelle's poem, she kind of mentioned how she was never asked to go on those apple picking dates. And apple picking is definitely a Midwest, East Coast thing. I don't think we have apple picking. I've been in California 2 years. I haven't done it in those past 2 years. So maybe Rodney is making the sweet gesture by taking her to an apple orchard because that is what she always wanted and what she talked about. See, Rodney listens. He's very thoughtful. He's very caring. He's very intentional with what he does. So let's continue to see what's going to go down on Rodney's hometown date.
When you know it's real, you know it's real. I don't think I've ever seen this happen. Now I get to show her a whole different side of me.
Aw, well, I do want to point out we just saw Rodney's dad. And last week, Gianna, we were trying to figure out whose dad was giving red flags. So we can put Rodney out of that equation. That's not his dad. This is Rodney's dad. They look really fun. It looks like a fun family. Rodney is probably going to go first in the hometowns order, which I don't know if that matters, but sometimes I do feel like it kind of matters, like when you meet the family in the beginning of the week or the end of the week. And then I don't know, I kind of feel like Rodney has the most to prove on this hometown date because I think he's at the bottom of the totem pole between him and the three other guys.
I completely agree with you. And like, look at that smile. I want to pinch his cheeks. Like, he really is so cute and he's such a great guy. But I think just the way Michelle has been vibing with the other men, the three men that he's up against, she has such a stronger connection with them as opposed to Rodney. So I'm glad he made it here, but I just don't think that he's going to make it even to the bottom two.
Definitely not the bottom two, and we'll continue to see clues in this trailer if we see him in Mexico or not. But let's take a look at Joe's hometown date in this next clip because it seems like Joe is going to go down the high school route once again, following from his one-on-one date where they were in Michelle's high school looking at her yearbook.
Michelle, well, you gonna prom with me?
Yes.
I'm all here for a prom date. I mean, it's just weird because they're reliving their like high school experience, and I feel like their whole relationship is truly like what could have been. Like they should have dated in high school, and I don't think that they will be meant together at the end of this.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, that's interesting because they're the only like environment that they're dating in right now is
Ever
like
in.
things of the
Uh-huh.
past. So it's like, why can't they do the apple orchard thing? Like, why can't they do something else? Like, it's just weird that it's always been a high school
The
thing because it's
past.
like, does that give them an opportunity to like be present and like talk about the future and have experiences that are more realistic? Like, I don't know, but regardless, Joe is definitely a top contender out of all four men. So I have high hopes for him too, honestly.
See, I don't know. I feel like Joe, Nate, and Brandon are just kind of tied. I almost feel like Brandon might even be ahead of Joe because Joe is just a
Ooh.
little low key. But I think this hometown date is really going to show where Joe is at. And I also don't, it doesn't look like it's Joe's father either. We saw in this little clip, we kind of saw Joe's dad, who isn't going to be the one that is skeptical. Because there's Joe's dad in the green shirt. So we're gonna rule Joe's dad out of the equation, which means it's going to be Brandon or Nate's dad. So let's take a look at this next clip because we're gonna get to meet Nate's family.
So you're head over heels, huh?
No, I'm crazy about you. You know that.
I have 4 incredibly strong connections.
She does have 4 incredibly strong connections. Okay, I think I just saw the strict dad with the concerns, and I think it's gonna be Nate's dad. Let's get back to that shot when Nate is introducing Michelle to the family right there. We can only see the back. Remember the shirt he's
It's
wearing?
him.
It's him, right?
1000%. It has to be him. If you guys remember, there is a trailer clip where the dad is saying that, what did he say again? He said he doesn't think
We're
that
gonna
he's
see it.
there.
We're gonna see it.
Oh, okay, we are gonna see it. Okay. He does say something that raises concerns though. So it's like, is this gonna be where like we all get shocked? Because if, to me, Nate is number one. Like, I think he's our front
Yeah.
runner right now. I think everyone's rooting for Nate. I mean, everyone on that's been interviewing Michelle this entire week in the press has just been pressuring her about Nate. Even Nick Vile was pressuring her. She did an interview on Extra. They were all like, so you picked Nate, right? Nate, Nate, Nate. So everyone is thinking that. And I feel like even though we're all rooting for him, it's like, is this going to be like his downfall? Is he going to disappoint us all? I don't know, but that's definitely the strict dad.
Yeah, and I don't know, it doesn't really work out well when there's like a strict parent or a strict aunt. We can't forget Aunt Lindsay. We can't forget Barb. I need to do like a rankings, Gianna, of like the strictest family members or the most like controversial family
Yes.
members because I think
Please.
that Nate's dad might get in that category. So let's take a look at this next clip because there's going to be some family drama, which you know I live for.
The fact that she's dating other guys right now worries me.
Do you really think you can see yourself with my brother?
That's Brandon's brother.
It brings tears to my eyes that he could be heartbroken.
Oh my god, that's definitely Brandon's brother with the glasses. You can just tell immediately.
Yeah. They
Um,
look so
this
like
this looks like it could be Nate's mom. I think we saw that from the shot before. And I mean, it's normal for parents to be really concerned. Gianna, how do you think your hometown would go hypothetically? Do you think your parents would get concerned, or do you think that they would be able to separate that this is a TV show and that, and they're just going to bring the theatrics?
my dad would be your number one strictest parent on your list, Zach. Like he would literally probably make the guy cry. To be honest, he's done it before. He'll do it again, especially for television. So, yeah, it wouldn't. I don't know how well that would go. I feel like the guy he would make the guy like end up dropping out himself, and it would be like, and then it would turn into a family battle with myself. So I don't know how my hometown would go, and I don't want to know ever, to be honest.
Uh-huh. My hometown would probably be awkward. No one, like my immediate family does not want to be on TV. Like that's totally my thing. It's not their thing. They would feel so uncomfortable with the cameras and they probably would just like not know how to act. It's just like so foreign to them. They rather just like watch me. So I don't even know how a hometown would go for me personally, but we'll see if I ever get on this show. But let's keep it going because the clips only get juicier. Some of the parents are going to be delivering tough questions.
It turned into this whole family dynamic.
He's never been in a relationship.
Do you think you're ready to propose?
Oh my god, it gets so intense. It looks like Nate is really breaking down and crying in this clip, and we've never seen that like emotion out of Nate. We've seen him get angry a few times when people have questioned his character. But I mean, my prediction is that Nate's dad is going to, say something to Michelle that he might not be ready, and that is what's going to set Nate off. Do we think a hometown is going to make or break it, or do you think like it's really just up to Michelle and the guys? Like, how involved can the families really get to influence the decision?
I mean, you have to remember, it's like, although this is a reality TV show, like Michelle and the guys are in a bubble going on these like planned dates by producers that like they just never would do in the real world. Like, I don't know, like, in what scenario in real life that this type of stuff would happen that they're doing.
Not at
So
all.
then when they come out of the bubble and the family gets brought in, the family is kind of like they're smack in the face to like, are you ready to propose? Like, it's only been like several weeks. Like, are you serious? Like, you guys know each other. You guys know what you want for the future. You guys definitely want kids. You want to have it. Like, they ask those hard hitting questions that I think, in a way, help Michelle and the guys because it makes them realize that they are or are not ready for what they're ready for. But it seems like Nate is struggling, like he said, with his family dynamic. So I think maybe, like I said, my dad would be all strict and then I would get in a fight with him. So maybe like that's something that happened. Like his
Cue
dad
the
was being
camera.
strict, so then they got in a fight, So it's hometowns are a good thing because it just makes these people realize like what they're doing isn't really realistic and they need to actually think about their decisions before they propose and get engaged to somebody.
Gianna, I'm sending a camera crew to your house for Thanksgiving, so don't be surprised. Tell your dad it's coming.
Please do.
Just so you know. Yeah, the hometowns could really make things different. I mean, I want to bring it back to Serena P from Matt James's season. She was all in with Matt, and then as soon as she sat down with her parents and her sister, it was like a drastic change. They told her, like, they just put life into her and reality into her, like, because you're in this bubble, you're so accustomed to this reality show that once you meet people who have not been in the bubble that are your real life, it really does change things instantly. So if that could be the case for one of the guys, it will definitely show, and one of them will go home because it gets real, and it's gonna get even more real. So let's look at this next clip because there might be some red flags that Michelle has to sniff out.
A red flag. Do you feel like he could be ready for an engagement?
He's not there yet. I don't want him to hurt himself or you.
Okay, this is the clip that we have been talking about. Now we are 99% confident this is Nate's dad, correct, Gianna?
Yep. Yeah.
And he says, let's just roll that back one more time because this is so intense. Let's take a look.
It's a red flag. Do you feel like he could be ready for an engagement?
He's not there yet. I don't want him to hurt himself or you.
He's not there yet. I don't want him to hurt himself for you. I mean, do they have to get engaged at the end of this? Like, what if there's no engagement? I think that's also a strong possibility that she just leaves hand in hand with a boyfriend.
Yeah, like I don't know why that's not more of a thing like on this franchise. I'm wondering if producers are like pushing an engagement, they set up that altar. It's like
Of
it's
course they are.
ideal. That's what the people want to see. So they're like, you have to propose, like whether you like it or not, like probably behind the scenes. Otherwise, like I think 90% of people that have got engaged on the show would have walked away just being like, let's date for a little bit in the real world. Because that is literally the only logical answer to the show. I would never go on the show and get married or engaged right at the end of it. But yeah, I'm like, now I'm just wondering again, like, is this gonna cause a riff with Nayte and his dad? Like, cause now Michelle's gonna be like, what the heck? Like, Nayte, your dad said you weren't ready. And then Nate's gonna be like, what the heck? I am ready. And then he's gonna be like, Dad, like, why did you say that? And it's gonna just cause some drama. I am ready. We gotta make some popcorn, Zach, and watch this.
Oh, we definitely are gonna have to have a viewing party, even if it's virtual. But it's gonna be a lot for Michelle and for Nate. I mean, imagine your dad getting so involved in saying that, especially to the girl that you have been falling in love with this whole time. I hope it doesn't scare Michelle off with Nate because I think she's most into him and she sees the most potential. But if she does not have his parents' blessing, it's going to affect things and it's going to change things. Let's take a look at this last clip and then we're going to predict who is going to go home next week.
I feel nauseous.
The drama continues next week on The Bachelorette.
She feels nauseous. Okay, well, it kind of looked like Rodney had a great one-on-one date, and it looked like Nate probably had the hardest one-on-one date. And then I would say that Joe and Brandon are somewhere in the middle. Going into this week, I would say I would assume Rodney's going home because I think he has the, least amount of connection with Michelle out of the four guys. But judging from the clips, it looks like Nate is going to be in the most trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to say. And like Brandon didn't get any airtime in this little preview at all. Like there was a shot of them kissing, but other than that, nothing. So I can only assume that means something good happened because we saw a lot of like Nate and Joe and it was like bad things. So I feel like yeah, Nate's relationship with Michelle's in jeopardy. So maybe he could be going home. But I also think that if Michelle is following her heart and who she knows that she likes, then Rodney is gonna go home next week. So, how many people go home next week, Zach?
Just one,
Just one.
I would
I'm
assume.
gonna say
Just one,
Rodney.
and then they'll go to Mexico. We gotta wrap up this show before Christmas, Gianna. We got like 3 or 4 episodes left, so we gotta have a tell-all. We gotta have another after the final rose. So there is a lot to get done, and we want to hear from you guys. Let us know your predictions. What is going to happen at hometowns? Who do we think is going to go home next week? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you guys subscribe to our channel and ring the bell before you head out of here because we cover Bachelor, Bachelorette all season, all year long. We truly sleep on this. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the phenomenally amazing Gianna Gravalese. You guys can follow our socials down below, like a couple of our pictures, and have a happy Thanksgiving, and we will catch you guys next time. See you later.